Hello and welcome back to Risk in Focus, your trusted space for all risk management. Over the past episodes, we've explored key areas such as risk management frameworks and standards, the risk management process, enterprise risk management, and even building a risk-aware culture. And as always, David, our director, who's right here with me, will be answering some of your questions. Karibu sana, David.
Thank you so very much, Brenda. It's been a while, but we are back. And obviously, you know, we live in an environment whereby we are surrounded by risks. We have seen political risks, we have seen social risks, we have seen environmental climatic risks happening within us and around us. And all those, you'll find that in one way or another, they are risks driven in them. So it is very important for us to be able to go with our viewers in terms of understanding and practicing risk management for better lives.
Okay, so David, we will just dive right in, okay, to the questions. We have seen organizations with risk management practices, yet they are hit by some risks. Does it mean that the risk management was not effective?
Risk, Brenda, that's a good question, and it is asked mostly in areas where you find the problems have arisen. And if you remember back in the recession around 2008, financial problems that we had worldwide, that systemic risk that materialized that time, people are asking, where are risk managers? Where was risk management? But you'll find that risk management is about the future. There are things to come and affect the organization. For example, you have heard about Black Swan. And Black Swan are risks that were never expected, never imagined. And it came about when somebody was in a coastal region or maybe somewhere. They always used to see white swans. Yeah. But all of a sudden, he saw a black swan. So that kind of a risk that can come and affect the organization. Number two, risks are dynamic. Okay. They change. We talked about primary risks and we talked about secondary risks. Yes. Each one of them can come and strike in a new way. Yeah, and also you'll always find that in risk management, we always leave a residual risk after managing the gross risk. That residual risk can also manifest itself and become a problem if it's not addressed. Also, you'll find that risk management is about human beings. It's social. There's no way you will be able to force people to practice risk management. It's persuasive. You know, if there's a toxic kind of an organization culture, you'll find that risks are materializing. So no organization that is immune from risks materializing. It's only that we manage the likelihood and the impact that can happen. So there'll be a difference between when a risk materializes for an organization that is practicing risk management, unlike that one which does not practice risk management. Yes, I agree with you. At times you'll find risk materializing, but even if they materialize, then there are lessons to run, and the risk management practices are reviewed and changed, and things are done better. Yes. So doesn't say that risk management has failed. It needs some monitoring, it needs some review, it needs some updates, technological changes, and all that.
Okay, thank you so much. You had earlier mentioned that if risk materializes, then it becomes a problem. Okay? Kindly elaborate on that.
You know, when we talk about risk materializing, that is risks happening. For example, if we had a building and they were not checking on the wiring systems, and one time there is a fire and consumes the building down, now it is not a problem. It's not a risk now. It is a problem. And before even we look at the problem, you know, there's what we call uncertainties. You know, uncertainties are futuristic events that can happen in the world out there. There are a lot of uncertainties. But you find that uncertainties will not actually be, you cannot call them risks. Because why? They are not affecting your objective directly. Yeah. So uncertainties are those future events that can occur and maybe create some problems. We can also have now the risk itself, where we are saying now this is an uncertainty that can affect my objective now. It's an uncertainty that matters to me now. So I will need to manage it. from that, you realize that all risks are uncertainties, but not all uncertainties are risks, just because of are they affecting your objectives. And if a risk is not addressed, then it becomes a problem. A problem is a situation that has already happened. And the only thing you can be able to do is either reduce the disruptions, contain costs, or even try to salvage what you're doing. So that that risk has already completed. I mean, it has already come into being, and it's a problem now. And you have also had people say issues. You know, there will also be a difference between a problem and an issue, because an issue is also something that has happened or is happening, and which actually could bring a problem. So it needs to be addressed before it brings a problem. So we need to understand the difference between uncertainties, risks, issues, and problems. You may also ask, what will be the problem there? I mean, what will be the difference now between a risk and a problem?
Yes.
A problem has already occurred.
Yes.
A risk is a futuristic event that can happen. We measure problems through corrective measures that we can be able to put to bring maybe a cost containment in that problem. But you know, in risk management, it's preventive. We're saying we need to be proactive so that this risk does not materialize and become a problem. Also, the strategies we use in risks are different from the ones we use in problems. For example, when a problem arises, it's the tactics that we are going to use to be able to contain that problem. But remember, risk management is in the future and it's long term. So it's strategic. So a problem is happening now, it has happened. Tactics to bring it to an end, or maybe contain that disruption. Risk is about the future, and it needs to be strategic. Also, you find that a problem that have happened, it is now, it is short term. But when you look at risks, they are long term, and we need to manage them for a longer period strategically. So you need to understand that there will be those differences, and they are managed differently if they occur. If it is a risk, it is addressed differently. If it is a problem, it's addressed differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. For more of this content, like, subscribe, and comment. See you on the next one.